Melissa Strange, and today I'm going to recap for you Orange is the New Black Season 3! Because Orange is the New Black Season 4 comes out in a week, and listen, we're gonna all binge watch Season 4, which means since you probably binge watched all of Season 3 in one day, and maybe you've watched it since then, you might not remember everything that happened, and with the premiere of this 4th season just around the corner, you might need a refresher, so I am here to give that to you, and hopefully I don't miss anything. Let me know in the comments down below if I did miss anything. Give me a big ol' like if you're excited for Orange is the New Black Season 3, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recaps of movies and TV shows that I think are awesome. Season 3 starts out with the prison preparing for Mother's Day. Piper finds out that Alex is back at Litchfield. Caputo hires a new counselor, Bertie Rogers. Red decides that it would be best if the hole in the greenhouse is filled with cement, that way nobody can escape the prison through her tunnel and nothing can come in. Red finds out that her husband had to shut down their shop, and she is angry because Piper lied to her about the shop being open and really busy when she went to visit. The prison has bed bugs after all of the inmates' children came and visited for Mother's Day. So the beds are being burnt, the books are being burnt, and the inmates are forced to wear paper garment uniforms as well as their underwear and garbage bags or whatever they can make into a uniform until they get new ones. Red is filing for a divorce. Nikki and Big Boo have a lot of heroin left from when V was still in prison in Season 2. And they look to Luschek for help to sell it outside of the prison, and he agrees. Daya's mother, Aleda, meets with Pornstash's mother, who's willing to, let's say, pay for Daya's baby so that she can raise the child to make up for the fact that Pornstash raped Daya and that Pornstash is a terrible human being. Bennett and Daya are mad at Aleda for meeting with Pornstash's mother without them knowing. In an attempt to prove that he really does love Daya and will be there to support their child, Bennett proposes to her. Piper reveals to a very depressed Alex that the reason why Alex is back at Litchfield is because Piper had a friend call Alex's parole officer and tell him that Alex had a gun at her house. An extremely angry Alex decides to have hate sex with Piper. Caputo finds out that the prison is closing. Bennett goes to visit Cesar and lets him know that he has proposed to Daya and is willing to step up and be the father of this baby. Cesar invites him into the house for a nice dinner where he holds a gun up to his son's head, and it freaks out Bennett, and before Bennett leaves, Cesar gives him Daya's crib and he's just like overwhelmed and scared, so he ends up leaving the crib at the side of the road and driving off. Nikki and Big Boo find out that their heroin was stolen and Luschek freaks out. All the CEOs and the staff at the prison are thinking that the prison's getting closed down and they're feeling very suspicious. Counselor Rogers decides to start a theater program, and during an exercise, Alex and Piper make up. The meth heads Leanne and Angie find the heroin, use some, and then Luschek finds them high and takes the heroin back. Then Leanne and Angie go and find the CEOs, tell them that Luschek has drugs, that there's heroin in the electrical room, and then Caputo finds out. Caputo looks to ex-warden Fig to get some help to how to keep the prison open. He tries to blackmail her and that doesn't really work, but she does say, look, this company, MMR, was trying to buy us before. Give them a call and here's what you need to do. Caputo finds the heroin in the electrical workshop and Luschek rats Nikki out, so Nikki's sent down the hill to Max. Caputo meets with the company MMR and gives them a tour of the prison in hopes that they will buy the prison or manage the prison to save it. Daya's worried because Bennett hasn't shown up to work in a little while. Big Boo gets a makeover to appear straight to try to capitalize on Pennsatucky's church, who are giving Pennsatucky money for killing the abortion lady at the abortion clinic for giving abortions. So Big Boo thinks that if she pretends to be straight and says that she has converted because of God, that they will give her money. She meets with the pastor and, well, she tried, but it didn't work. She just freaks out instead. Alex and Piper are officially girlfriends again. Red and Healy's relationship take a turn. For the romantic side, MMR has agreed to save Litchfield and will now be their manager. So the prison finally gets new mattresses. But the COs are pissed because their hours got cut. And the inmates are going nuts because MMR has released information that there's a new job that is going to pay $1 an hour, where most of their jobs pay like 18 cents an hour. So the inmates are all speculating what it's going to be, and they're all so excited and they all want it. Alex is paranoid that her drug lord Kubra is going to come and kill her. Pusey is on a mission to stop a drunk squirrel from stealing her hooch, but really it's actually just Tasty stealing it because, well, Pusey has a bit of a drinking problem. The inmates take a personality test from the internet, but they're not smart enough to realize that that's what it is, to determine whether or not they will be qualified to get the job, when really MMR is just selecting random tests and being like, yep, you get the job. And the job is making underwear for a company called Whispers. Lolly asks for a kosher meal, which then gets the other girls interested in what she's getting because her food looks different than everybody else's. And apparently it tastes pretty good too. We're talking real vegetables. Celebrity chef Judy King gets arrested and the entire prison is praying that she gets sent to Litchfield to serve her time. Caputo is forced to hire a bunch of inexperienced staff. Lorna is writing to men on the outside to get dates like pen pals, and they're all visiting her in her visitation area time. Red gets to work in the kitchen again, but only doing minor jobs. Apparently Chang has a garden shed where she watches Chinese movies on her phone and eats oranges all day. I'm not surprised. After being given a writing assignment by Rogers, Suzanne writes an interesting story about aliens, time travel, and a lot of sex. And she's told she's not gonna be able to share it to the class. So a very upset Crazy Eyes goes to Tasty and Pusey, and they read her story, and Pusey seems to like it, and Tasty thinks she's nuts. Piper derives a plan to cut an extra pair of panties out of the material from the Whispers panties, have inmates wear them, and then sell them on the internet to pervs who like to sniff panties. Piper enlists the help of new inmate Stella, Alex, and her brother Cal to run her panty business with her. Mendoza's son has been acting up, so she has Sophia's wife drive her son up when her and her wife come to visit. That way Mendoza can keep her eyes on her son at least once in a while. But she finds out that the two boys are kind of misbehaving, and that causes tension between the two mothers. And then, while she's visiting with her son, Ramos cuts her finger off, and so Mendoza has to go back to the kitchen. Then Mendoza quits being the head of the kitchen, and the only person able to step up is Red. So Red takes over the kitchen again, and she is one proud Russian mama. Daya's trying to decide if she should keep the baby or give it to Pornstash's mother to raise. There's a small cult of mostly meth heads and some lonely people following Norma, who they seem to believe has magical, miracle healing and miracle causing powers. MMR is now serving pre-cooked slop in a bag meals to the inmates at Litchfield. We're talking, take this bag of slop, boil it, and serve it. And the inmates aren't so happy. And Red is really not happy. Crazy Eye's story is literally going around the entire prison and getting her a little bit of a cult following, and she's writing more and more chapters. Everyone's angry about this new prison food, and then they raise the price of the commissary too? So Piper decides she'll pay the inmates with ramen flavor packets, that way they can sprinkle it onto their food to make it more bearable, and in return they just have to wear their dirty panties around for 2 days and then give them to her. Healy wants to prescribe So-So with antidepressants because she has no friends and she's lonely, but she really just needs someone to talk to, so she goes to Rogers, who isn't happy to hear this. Pennsatucky and new CO Coates have this new relationship happening on their van runs, and they're eating donuts and feeding donuts to Goose. The new guy, Pearson, who's in charge of the prison basically, is not having a very easy time trying to convince MMR and his father who works there to do the things that the prison needs, and he realizes that all they care about is saving money and cutting costs and making more money, and so he's starting to lose faith here. Daya confesses to Pornstash's mother that the baby isn't actually Pornstash's. Alex believes that Lolly has been sent by Kubra to the prison to kill her. Piper's prison panty business is selling out overnight. It's a huge success, and she's making a killing. Due to the new food in the prison, majority of the prison is claiming to be kosher. So MMR sends a rabbi in to, test the waters and see who's actually Jewish, and well, I think only like 3 girls were out of like over 100. Red is really depressed about this food though, I'm serious. Piper and Stella kiss and hook up. Sophia's son is arrested, so she blames Mendoza's son and freaks out. Coates and Pennsatucky share a really creepy kiss. Alex sees Lolly steal a giant glass shard, and when Lolly denies it, Alex freaks out even more. Leanne bullies Soso so much that she literally quits the cult group following Norma. The Normans, or whatever they call themselves. Alex finds a log that Lolly's been keeping, tracking everything Alex does to the minute. Pornstash's mother reveals to him that he's actually not the father of Daya's baby, and he loses his shit. So Pornstash's mother tells Daya she's still willing and able to adopt the baby if Daya says yes. And after thinking about it, Daya agrees to give Pornstash's mother the baby. Oh, that poor baby. Morello has one of her prison pen pals, Vince, go and attack Christopher. Angry that Sophia's wife has stopped giving Mendoza's son a ride to the prison, she confronts Sophia. Sophia pushes Mendoza because they're getting into a heated argument. She ends up hitting her face and Mendoza gets a black eye. Alex and Lolly get into a fight, and then Alex figures out and kind of finds out from talking to Lolly during this fight that Lolly thinks that Alex is with the government, and the government is trying to kill Lolly because they think she's a terrorist. Basically, she's cuckoo and thinks that the whole prison is wired and following her, and she's insane. So Alex figures this out and plays along and keeps her calm and makes her feel like they're on the same side. Situation diffused, and she no longer thinks that she's being sent by Kubra to kill her. CO Coates rapes Pennsatucky. The guards are trying to unionize against MMR. Caputo's having sex with Fig. Big Boo finds out that Pennsatucky was raped by Coates and wants to help her seek revenge. The prison is gossiping that Sophia is still a man and that she's really dangerous after this whole fight thing happened with Mendoza. Even though it's a little bit of a misunderstanding, Mendoza is not sticking up for Sophia and defending her. If anything, Aleda's making it worse. Crazy Eyes' crazy story gets turned into the CO's and then handed over to Healy, who finds this pornographic book that she's been writing, and when Crazy Eyes says she wrote it for Rogers' class, Healy takes that as his opportunity to get her fired. She gets suspended. In the middle of the night, Leanne sneaks over to Soso's bunk while she's sleeping and cuts her hair to like here. And she had really long hair. Morello gets married to Vince in the visitations room. Flocka finds out that the guards are trying to unionize against MMR, so she tries to unionize against Piper's panty business to try to get the girls some money. So Piper seeks guidance from Red, who gives her some pretty solid advice. So Piper sets up cash cards so that the girls will get paid. Everybody's really excited. Once everyone's back on board, she fires Flocka in front of everybody. And then Alex breaks up with her for doing that because she's like, Piper, you're going overboard, you're crazy, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble and serve real jail time for trading money for panties now. This is a serious business. You're basically a drug lord for panties. Using vegetables from the garden, Red starts hosting these randomly selected charity dinners. Healy prescribes Soso antidepressants. Boo and Pennsatucky drug Coates, and while he is pantsless laying in the laundry room, they decide that they are going to shove a broom up his butt. But then they decide they're not gonna do that, and they leave him there pantless. Norma's crazy cult is now worshipping a piece of toast that looks like Norma. They ain't normal. Daya goes into labor, but due to some complications, she gets rushed out of the prison. Pennsatucky fakes having a seizure so that she no longer has to do van duty with Coates. But Ramos is now in charge of doing van duty, so she's probably gonna get raped this season coming up. Sophia gets jumped in her hair salon and is brutally beaten. And then the prison thinks that sending her to the SHU is for her protection and for her safety. Not cool. Tasty finds out that she is considered to be responsible for her group of people and that she is like the group mom, and she's shocked. Daya gives birth to a baby girl and she thinks she's giving it to Pornstash's mother, but actually Cesar and her cousin show up and take the baby, and Aleda calls Pornstash's mother and tells her that Daya had a baby boy and it died. Heartbreaking. Poussey finds Soso in the library surrounded by empty pill packs and probably dead. Crazy Eyes, Tasty, and Poussey are all able to save Soso by making her throw up. At movie night, Stella decides to tell Piper she's leaving in a few days. So Stella tattoos Piper's arm saying "trust no bitch" in white ink so that she always remembers her, and so she looks badass. Cesar's house gets raided, he gets arrested, the police take Daya's baby and all of Daya's siblings. Black Cindy works real hard to become Jewish for those meals, but actually figures out she really does love that religion. So she's granted permission to become Jewish, but still needs to be baptized before it's official. Piper finds out that someone stole all of her panty money, and she thinks it's Flocka. But Piper realizes it was Stella who stole all of her money, so she confronts her, and Stella admits it. Poussey confronts Norma and tells her that So-So tried to kill herself because of Norma's group of people, and Norma is not very happy about this and shoos everyone away. Piper plants all the contraband that she can find into Stella's bunk, and then tells the COs. And then the COs find all the stuff. And then Stella gets sent to Max. And Piper's standing there and shows and flashes that trust no bitch tattoo. And Stella's done. She's going down the hill. Caputo is now the warden, and the COs are angry at him for going with MMR and not staying on their side, so they'll walk off duty. Contractors that were fixing a hole in the fence left 2 giant fence panels wide open, and all the inmates that were outside go running out the fence, and the contractors jump in their van and they're shaking and they're trying to just stay safe. Alex, still working in the greenhouse, turns around to see one of the new guards is actually one of Cobra's people and is probably going to kill her. While the prisoners are enjoying their freedom in the lake that they have found, Black Cindy gets baptized, So-So gets basically adopted by the Black Girls group, and back at camp, bunk beds are being installed and several buses filled with new inmates roll up. This next season is gonna be insane. And while all the guards were off duty and everybody was swimming and everything was happening, that celebrity chef lady was trying to get into the prison. And there was nobody there to accept her. So that is everything that happened in season 3 that I can remember and have written down. And it was such a cool season, and season 4 is going to be amazing. So make sure you give me a big old thumbs up there for reminding you of everything that happened in the last season and preparing you for season 4. Because season 3 was awesome. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to show your respects for what I just did for you, and also so you don't miss any other future recaps of TV shows and movies that you might enjoy and might need to be recapped on. Refresh that old brain tube of yours. Or whatever. Leave me a comment down below of what you thought. Once again, everybody, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.